Howdy howdy, this is Crafty Grinding back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I cover round 1 results and jump into some round 2 predictions for the Hyperion and Mephisto arenas. So first let's take a look at round 1 results. So kind of as expected, Hyperion performed more like a new champ when it comes to the 5-star arena. As you can see, he had a cutoff right at 39 million, right around 39 million, with a top 10% shard tier coming in at 11.1 million. Then he kind of reverted back to like a 4-star, but kind of like an OP god tier 4-star, as kind of you'd expect with a even an old champ that still does really well in the game, with a 7.1. So that's the highest 7.1 million cutoff, which is the highest yet we've seen for an old champ since a 5-star feature arena has been added, with a top 10% shard tier coming in at 4 million. Then we take a look over at the Mephisto arena, and you can see that he came in just a shade underneath the Thor Rags, Hela, and Medusa numbers, coming in with a cutoff at 3.3 million, with 11 to 25% shard tier at 1.54 million. But this does seem to be kind of like where a new high, like I think we're getting the clusters for the 4-star basic arena coming together now, since the 5-star feature arena has been added, with Mephisto, Thor Rags, Hela, and Medusa making up that higher kind of cluster, if you will. So right around that above 3 million, closer to 3.5 million is kind of the average between all of those. Of course, Medusa being the higher, Mephisto being the lower. But anyway, it feels like that cluster is now kind of solidifying a bit. But then we jump over to the 3-star feature arena, and as expected, he did revert totally back to an old champ. Not a big surprise there, as a 3-star coming back to 654,000 with 11 to 25% shard tier at 406,000. So in terms of how my predictions did compared to actuals, you can see here not too bad actually. A few of them were under the actual cutoff, but real close, and actually definitely within that 10% threshold. And in the case of the 3-star feature, well, actually across the board, they're all within almost 5%, definitely within 10%, which is what I'm targeting. So at the end of the day, pretty decent predictions altogether. If everybody played to my grind recommended targets, safety targets, then everybody should be happy people right now, happy grinders, and should have those champs that they were after. That's why I always remind folks, play to those safety targets, not to the cutoffs. But anyway, let's jump into some round 2 numbers so we can get an idea of what those predictions will look like. So here's kind of like starting with the left all the way over, you can see the 5-star feature arena, kind of the past results for old champs. And unfortunately, you can see the steady increase, that blue line, that number keeps on getting higher and higher. Most recently with Luke Cage going from 26 million to 28 million. Then you have Gambit from 23, low 23s to high 23s. You had Storm 20 to almost 22 million. So as you can see, there's a steady increase here, and then a steady jump between round 1 and round 2, with the bigger jumps with the better champs like Storm and Luke Cage. And I think we're definitely going to see that in case here with a Hyperion. And then jumping over to the 4-star basic, the 4-star feature arena with Hyperion, you can see there's been also a steady increase, not over time the same way that we saw the 5-star feature arena, but more between round 1 and round 2. There seems to be a steady bump between the two, with you know, each one jumping like anywhere from a couple 100,000 to almost a whole million, like we saw with Luke Cage, from 5.1 to 6 million in the second round. So I think we can expect to see that. And then there's this steady increase for the top 10% shard tier, as you can see. And so that hasn't plateaued yet, so we should expect a small increase there as well. Now jumping over to the 4-star basic arena, you can see between round 1 and round 2, there's not a tremendous difference between them. So Thor Rags came in at 3.1, then went to 3.2, Hela went to 3.5, stayed at 3.5, but with a small bump, and then Medusa most recently went from 3.8 to 3.9. That's probably the biggest jump that we've seen, but for the most part, you can see there's not a tremendous jump. Anywhere from 1 million to 2 million is kind of the numbers that we're seeing, maybe even less than 1 million, but on average, you can see those numbers are occurring. The good news is with 11 to 25% shard tier, it's pretty much flat-lined. We got a good number, a good understanding, right about 1.5 to 1.6 million is that number we're looking at. And then lastly, heading over to the right, you can see the 3-star feature arena results, that blue line showing you kind of the actual cutoff for the champs. And you can see kind of very similar to the 4-star feature arena, you've got a lower number in round 1 and a slightly higher number in round 2. with Storm and Luke Cage with the biggest jumps between the rounds. So those are the champs so far with the old champs, and I think with Hyperion we can expect the same thing. 11 to 25, there's not a steady pattern when it comes to that first shard tier. You could be anywhere from the low 400,000s to the high 500,000s, with round 2 typically higher. So not exactly, this is kind of a hazy kind of number, but some decent numbers to take a look at to do a prediction. And speaking of predictions, here are my thoughts for the Veterans Bracket second round numbers, cutoffs, if you will, cutoffs for the champs. So starting first with Hyperion, you can see I think he's going to be coming around 41 million. We've seen those increases and that steady increase time over time with the 5-star feature arena, so no reason to think that's going to change now, with the top 10% coming in at 11.5 million. Jumping over to the 4-star feature arena, again, we've seen some steady increases between round 1 and round 2. Again, I think we saw the biggest increase on this guy already with round 1, him making it the highest 4-star feature first round cutoff. So I don't think it's going to be one of the highest increases between round 1 and round 2. That's why I've got the cutoff around 7.5 million. Jumping to the top 10% shard tier at 4.5 million. And then we'll head over to the Mephisto arena. I think that you're going to see, again, that steady, that small bump between round 1 and round 2, bringing his cutoff to 3.5 million with 11 to 25% at 1.6 million. And lastly, when we take a look at the 3-star feature arena, I think that that cutoff will come in at 710,000 with 11 to 25% at 450,000. Again, these predictions are for the Veterans Bracket. Again, here are the grind targets. That's where I think the cutoffs will kind of land within, give or take, within 5 to 10%, if not closer. But so with that being said, I always like to give some grind targets for that kind of safety cushion. If you really want Hyperion, go to 43 million. If you want the 4-star version, go to 8 million. If you really want Mephisto in round 2, go to 3.7 million. If you want the 3-star feature Hyperion, go to 725,000. So then, and again, these grind targets as well as estimates are for the Veterans Bracket. When we take a look at the Intermediate and Beginners Bracket, you can see, again, I don't have a ton of historical data to pull up. I don't have all those cutoff results to show those graphs. So this is just kind of like, my thoughts based off of my own personal experience, taking 2 different accounts of those over the last 8-9 months kind of thing, plus as folks have shared their input into their results for these lower brackets. So just keep that in mind. These are just some very rough ranges. So first, starting with the 3-star feature beginner bracket, 245,000 should get you Hyperion, the 4-star basic at 750,000, and the 4-star feature at 1.2 million. Then jumping over to the intermediate bracket, I think the 3-star feature, which you should be able to get Hyperion for 525,000 with the 4-star basic at 1 million. And then lastly, the 4-star feature at 1.2 million. So anyway, these are my thoughts for the intermediate and beginner bracket. Again, not a ton of data to do some historical analysis against, so just keep that in mind. Best advice, grind as hard as you can, as far as you can, without killing yourself. Obviously, want to get plenty of rest and keep the game fun. But the more grinding you get, the more arena chips you get, which mean more units, more gold, etc. And then here are my thoughts again on the Veterans Bracket, both estimates as well as the grind target. So anyway, these are my thoughts. Would love to hear your thoughts or any questions you have, especially if you're thinking that the numbers might be different. Throw it all down in the comment section. We can talk about it there. And if you like this video, we really appreciate a subscribe. If you like this video, we really appreciate you if you could hit that thumbs up button. And if you like this video and other videos I have on the channel, I'd really appreciate a subscribe. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.